Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton could actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, let's say it comes down for Matt Kuchar in the FedEx Cup ball. Let's say he doesn't make a cut, and it comes down to one shot. And
that's a good point.
And he keeps his card for the top 125 because he did make the jump from, I think it was 113 to 103. So he made a 10-spot jump. So he's got, 17, or let's see, that was not good math. He's got about 20.
Not a bad one. The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We're into a different regime, different ownership, different head coach. I like the head coach. Dan Quinn is a good football man. He has been around where he's been. They have won. Yes, he's had some talent there.
I'm incredibly excited for what this brings to the team. The defense, I think, is underrated. I think this is a good football team. And also, you talk about extending drives. I think Daniels has that ability. And that's something that hasn't been seen in Washington for quite some time.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
Well, it's just like last year and all the past years. It always happens. There's always a touchdown when we go to a break. North Dakota State scored a touchdown. Their quarterback went backwards, made a mistake, should have gotten rid of the ball. He couldn't. He got sacked. He lost a bunch of yards. Then he turns around and he just clipped one for like 35-yard touchdown. They needed to go for 2 because it was 31-20. They didn't get to 2. And it's too bad because we're praying for that overtime, but 31-26 right now, 2:19 left. North Dakota State have 2 timeouts left. Let's get a quick update. We'll bring Ron in from Ron A Sports. And Coastal Carolina up 28, 48-20 on Jacksonville State. The game's basically done. 6.5 minutes left in that game. Trent Dilfer and UAB, they're up 28-3 on Alcorn State at the half. Missouri. And how about this, guys? Missouri are laying 50.5 points. They're winning 48-0, and it's 4th and goal on the Murray State 4 right now with 2 minutes left. Dear God. You know what? If you kick a field goal, you're a jerk, like even bigger. Like the football coach. Let's bring in Ron Ace. Ron, you've been around a while. Like if you bring out the field goal kicker here, that upsets the other team. If you go for it and you score, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? This is... You believe this, Ron? We were just talking about the Rutgers-Howard game and how sharp then it came down. How about this? 50.5, it's 48-0 Missouri. 4th and goal on the 4-yard line with 2:02 left right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, welcome to football. Here we are. We barely got our feet wet with 4 or 5 games, and we're already having controversial endings. Did you see the handshake or almost handshake with Greg Schiano in the Howard game? That coach was mad.
Yeah, you know what? They punched it in on the last play of the game. Exactly. That's what they do. That's what. Yeah. And think about it, guys. Think about it, Ken. Like Ron said, here we're off for running, and we haven't even had the big boys play yet. Like we're already these numbers are just landing on the thing. Like sharp as rusty nails in grandma's basement. But so tomorrow's games, Ron. All right, there's a couple of bigger teams playing, but what about Saturday's games as far as live movement is concerned? Because it's not like a stationary market here. The public really hasn't even fully jumped in on these big Saturday college football games yet. So I'm saying, you got to be betting these Saturday games tonight if you don't already have your bets in, don't you? Because it's going to be different numbers on Saturday morning.
especially with these games where they're involving Howard and some of these other programs where you have a big boy versus one of the small boys. Those lines will move 4 or 5 points right away. It won't take much money to move them. So some books wait till day of game to put those lines out. 2 or 3 of them, they'll put them out the night before, 2 nights before. If you know or you have a feeling which way that line's going, you've got to act quick on those games, even more than the big games.
You're exactly right. We saw tonight, Kansas 46.5 up to 48.5. Even Missouri were laying less, 46.5, 47 before. So here we go. It's 1st and 10. North Dakota State got to stop on first down here. They got 2 timeouts, but they're running out of real estate if they're going to actually pull off the actual comeback win. And how about this, guys? Missouri kicked the field goal.
Of course,
the spread. The spread was 50.5. Cam. They kicked the field goal to make it 51-0. Can you believe that?
Oh, I can believe it. Ron's right.
I'm part of the Murray State plus 50.5 crowd. I can't effing believe this, man.
Go Racers! Yeah, you're Racer. Yeah, you got screwed. Here's another thing. This Lindenwood-Kansas game, think about the money that was on the Jayhawks and compared to Lindenwood. This one's coming real close too, Gabe. Like, I can't believe we're getting spreads of this number, guys, and like they're really literally falling on hooks and stuff like that. Ron said it. Welcome to college football. These are like pick'em games, -1.5, like 42.5, 48.5, 51. This is nuts, Morency. We just started.
Odds makers are on top of their game early in the season.
Weird stuff too.
No preseason for them. So, Ron, speaking of the Friday card, in this modern college football world, we're actually going to have pretty cool games on Friday nights now. Fox is going to have a Friday night game of the week, and Big Ten teams and some cool games. Tomorrow night, let's take a look at the games tomorrow night and see if anything catches Ron or Cam's eye, but set the stage for tomorrow night. Michigan State, Aiden Childs, Jonathan Smith era starts in East Lansing. They're laying 13 against FAU. The total's 45. I've had some fun, Ron, with the fact, I don't know if you saw the video of Aiden Childs, the quarterback at Michigan State. They said, hey, Aiden, what can we expect in the season opener? He goes, I don't know if you bet or not, but if you do, bet the over. Thinking, well, the quarterback's telling us to bet the over. Or maybe we should bet the over.
I don't know what to say because we talked about this last time. Aiden Childs was poached from my school, Oregon State. So I know him. I've seen him play. I know he's a player. I didn't know he was a handicapper, but he's a player apparently.
He might be a better. He better not be. I tell him, Aiden, stay away from the gambling talk. Yeah. But what do you think of this game? What do you think of this game with Sparty opening up? There's a lot of unknowns here, right? We just don't really know what we're going to get for this Florida Atlantic offense. And then we know kind of what Michigan State are going to be, but I do kind of think this total is intriguing at 45, though. It feels a little bit light to me. Any opinion or thoughts on this football game, Ron?
Well, Tom Herman's second year at Florida Atlantic, and he was known as a pretty good underdog coach in his career at Houston, even at Texas. And he disappointed last year. It just didn't go well with his return back to coaching. He missed several years, and now he's back. And I think he wants to reestablish his credibility. To do that against the Big Ten is very, very difficult. According to my power ratings, and this line is touch 14. 14 is supposed to trigger a play for me on Florida Atlantic because I think the line is a tad high for a team that turned over its roster with a new coach. We know Michigan State plays in the Big Ten, and they're going to be a grind and pound team. Jonathan Smith's going to get this rolling. Question is, does he get it rolling week 1? And what's going on with Tom Herman? I would side or at least lean with Florida Atlantic in week 1.
Ron Hayes from Ron Hayes Sports kick in with us. Oklahoma, strange to say, the SEC Oklahoma Sooners. It's not an SEC game, but an SEC team's in action tomorrow night. So Oklahoma are laying 42. We were just talking about these massive number games. Temple, the wheels have fallen off like Bill Cosby's career for this Owl football team.
You go in there. Bam.
Comedy hour.
There was nothing crude. There was no crude joke, at least. I kept it clean, right?
That's about as clean as it can get, but strong.
Yeah. Wheels have fallen off the football program like Bill Cosby's career. But listen, I think Oklahoma are going to have a hard time, Ron, when they get an SEC play. The schedule is really hard. They have a lot of tough road games. But Jackson Arnold is a big-time prospect. This is a team that they can really kick in the teeth. and you know that Venables would like to, give the Norman faithful something, sort of like Arkansas tonight. Look, 70 points. Yeah. You like to send the boosters and everyone home happy, especially if you know they're going to be upset in a couple of weeks when you start losing some games. So, to me, it's Oklahoma or pass for this football game, Ron. Any opinion?
I think it's a confidence kind of thing more than a point spread kind of thing. They probably know that they're only picked to win 7.5 games this year. Oklahoma wants to establish an identity. They want their quarterback to start off on the right foot saying, hey, wait a second. If you want to forget about us, you're going to pay the price. So I think that's their motivation, saying, hey, we're Oklahoma. You have to respect us. And that's the way they should go into this game. They could probably name the score. Certainly what you want to do, especially with a team like North Carolina State, you look at their next opponent. And if their next opponent is a big boy opponent, you want to get out of there without injury. So, that's what I kind of look at in these games. I don't have an opinion on this game, but the bottom line for Oklahoma is gain confidence and not get hurt.
And a classic example, we've got a break coming up here, but a good example of that is Colorado State, Texas, and Michigan, Fresno State. Colorado, listen, Texas are going to Ann Arbor next week. Michigan have a new coach, although he was the play caller last year, but it's a new offense. Let's be real. It's a new quarterback. It's a new offense they're running. And they're not going to want to give away too much. So they're going to call a flag on that, and they call a flag on that. Listen, it was third and like 5, and Colorado just heaved the ball down the field.
Yep.
I don't know if that was interference, to be honest, but he didn't turn around.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton's actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, let's say it comes down for Matt Kuchar in the FedEx Cup ball. Let's say he doesn't make a cut, and it comes down to one shot. And
that's a good point.
And he keeps his card for the top 125 because he did make the jump from, I think it was 113 to 103. So he made a 10-spot jump. So he's got, 17, or let's see, that was not good math. He's got about 20.
Not a bad one. The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We're into a different regime, different ownership, different head coach. I like the head coach. Dan Quinn is a good football man. He has been around where he's been. They have won. Yes, he's had some talent there.
I'm incredibly excited for what this brings to the team. The defense, I think, is underrated. I think this is a good football team. And also, you talk about extending drives. I think Daniels has that ability. And that's something that hasn't been seen in Washington for quite some time.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, SiriusXM Channel 159 and more. Tell you what, Deion Sanders, some very questionable late game decisions going on here. He keeps throwing the football. There's like a minute and a half left, and he literally keeps throwing the ball. They did get a pass interference call out, but he keeps throwing the ball, and it keeps stopping the clock. So North Dakota State didn't have to burn their 2 timeouts. They just used their last timeout, and it's 3rd and 10 right now. I bet you they pass. as crazy as it sounds, I know most teams would run. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually throw, and they threw the ball, like I said. So they threw the ball. It was sort of like a pass throw. It was a quick dump off, but they threw the effing ball again.
Short.
So they're going to get the ball back with about 30. They're not going to have a lot of time. They're going to get the ball back with about 45 seconds left or so at North Dakota State. So Ron Ace in the house with us. Western Michigan and Wisconsin tomorrow night. Wisconsin are like 23.5. The total is 56. And a late night game tomorrow night. To me, this one's interesting, Ron. TCU and Stanford. This is Stanford's first game in a new conference, although not a conference opponent, but first non-Pac-12 game for them. This is, to me, I'm not sure TCU should be laying 9 points on a West Coast road trip in the season opener, Ron. I know people are down on Stanford after the 3 wins last year, but they've had a nice camp. I think they can run the football, chew some clock up here. I think the point spread is too high here, personally. What's your take on this game?
Yeah, I have a point spread pretty properly priced, but I kind of agree with you. TCU is an erratic team. It seems like 1 week they're on, 1 week they're off. They're kind of a risky offense, if you will. And Stanford, they probably learned a lot from year 1 to year 2 with their coach. I think the guy knows offense. He certainly did at Sacramento State. I would lean toward a high-scoring game because of the way TCU plays defense. And I also think that Stanford will put some points on the board. Wouldn't surprise me if Stanford was better than people think this year.
So 38 seconds left. They got it down to 38. Now they're going to be punting. So North Dakota State doesn't have a lot of time left. So, guys, how about this? And I said, all right, if you're betting, and these are the bigger games, it doesn't mean I don't know if they're going to Ron is going to bet because it's a big-time game, but, the public does. And look at this one. Clemson and Georgia, guys. 11.5 I see now, guys.
Wow.
I'm looking right now. Yeah. 11.5. I'm part of that Clemson crew, Cam. So I just lost value. They were 14 at one point. Now it's 11.5, Ron.
Big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. You got two programs who used to have a nice storied rivalry together. A lot of low-scoring games in their overall rivalry. You got Dabo Swinney, who doesn't use the portal, grows his own players. You got Georgia, who's very rightfully so highly ranked. A really good game. You're right about big game, not necessarily betting the game, really looking to see what happens the week after, because one of the teams is going to be disappointed. One of these teams might be on a really high. I look for letdown situations after these big games.
Another big game. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on this one, but I'm intrigued by this one. It's a massive game in the state of Florida. That's Miami, Florida, and the Florida Gators. Florida Gators, guys, 37-0-1 in season home openers against non-conference opponents since 1980. They've never lost a non-conference game in a home opener before. Since 1980, 37-0 with one tie. I'm on the Florida Gators in this game. I get the feeling there could be some points as well. I don't, you know what I mean, in this. So, but it's Cam Ward's first game on the road in the swamp in Gainesville. I know he's a good quarterback, but this is a big step up in class, Ron, from the defenses that he was playing in the Pac-12 and just the environment, the hostility. I don't care. Like, I get this isn't the greatest edition of the Gators, but it's still a tough place to play and win at.
Yeah, I like their coach. I like that the rivalry is back. This is a marquee game, a fun game to watch. If I'm the Florida coach, though, I'm going into the AD's office and saying, never schedule this thing again. The last 5 games of their schedule it's brutal. I mean,
they should be playing Florida A&M tomorrow.
You're right. Yeah. Bring the Rattlers in, Gabe. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you.
I mean, it's just crazy. These two coaches are on the hot seat, and one of them is going to go 0-1. Enormous pressure on both of them.
Well, it really is. Ron, and Norvell already lost with Florida State. So 2 of the 3 coaches in the big 3 in Florida are going to be on the hot seat. Go on, Cam.
Thanks, Gabe. Ron, what do you think about this one? West Virginia and Penn State. I've been getting a lot of mixed reviews on this game. That line was 8.5. I'm seeing some 8s out there now. Remember the last time West Virginia played Penn State? It was a dogfight. They got in there and it was crazy. They gave Penn State everything, and that was a pretty good Penn State team. I'm looking at the home dog in the Mountaineers. What do you think, Ron?
I have a ticket at plus 12, but don't remind me of last year's game because that's James Franklin scoring when he didn't have to from the 6-yard line, similar to what we saw there. And that particular one, instead of gaining me a win this week, that one lost a game for me. So I don't know if my ticket plus 12 is spite or if I really believe West Virginia can do it. But I think West Virginia, you're sleeping on that team that really had a good year last year. They bring back a couple of powerful running backs there. I understand that Penn State's going to be good, really good, playoff good this year. And I like Tom Allen as a defensive coordinator. However, the last defensive coordinator, Manny Diaz, was pretty good too. So it's not like they're gaining anything. They're just trying to stay afloat in that one. Games at West Virginia, it's going to be a lively crowd. I would probably recommend 10 or more. Not a big play for me, but I think it's going to be quite the game, hoping it is.
Well, we've got a final score and quite a dramatic finish to this football game. The quarterback at North Dakota State threw a Hail Mary from like his own 45-yard line. It was caught, but it was short. They caught it, but he fell down at the 4-yard line.
Are you
the
kidding?
kid just couldn't get it like a little further. Like the ball, I saw it going up. I'm like, man, I don't think it's short long enough. And lo and behold, the North Dakota State kid came down with it, but fell backwards and landed on the 4-yard line.
Unbelievable.
Dear God.
They shouldn't even win in that game. You're damn right it would have won.
North Dakota State get the cover.
Yes.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton could actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, let's say it comes down for Matt Kuchar in the FedEx Cup fall. Let's say he doesn't make a cut, and it comes down to one shot. And
that's a good point.
And he keeps his card for the top 125 because he did make the jump from, I think it was 113 to 103. So he made a 10-spot jump. So he's got, 17, or let's see, that was not good math. He's got about 20.
Not a math bot. The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We're into a different regime, different ownership, different head coach. I like the head coach. Dan Quinn is a good football man. He has been around where he's been. They have won. Yes, he's had some talent there.
I'm incredibly excited for what this brings to the team. The defense, I think, is underrated. I think this is a good football team. And also, you talk about extending drives. I think Daniels has that ability. And that's something that hasn't been seen in Washington for quite some time.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. So, of course, it's a small world in the betting world. And Ron is good friends with Brady Cannon. And I don't know if Brady will make it out to the football game. We'll see. He might be too busy running a campaign as we see the ads. Looks like he's like a presidential. He's in front of a presidential seal. He's standing upright. He's like tuning in. I swear to God, I was going to tell him, what, you're running? You the fourth candidate? You're running with RFK? So it's a great ad. You got to see it, Ron. It it looks like what is it? A political ad. The first time I saw it, but we love Brady. But Teddy Covers is confirmed. Ted Savransky, and Teddy Covers doesn't leave the house often. He hates everything. So Teddy's coming out, which is surprising me. But he's like, of course I won't let you down, Morency. So Teddy Covers is coming. Tony Finn is coming, although the over-under of Tony Finn showing up on time before kickoff is, he's an underdog to show, like, you know what I mean? Put it this way, like, I wouldn't wait outside for him before I go in the stadium. Like, I wouldn't be like, hey, Tony, I'm going to wait for you. But we'll see if Brady is going to come down. But what a game on Sunday night. Fun stuff in Vegas, Rod. LSU and USC. Another game in which there's been line movement. I mean, it was 6.5. It's down to 4.5. The total's been bouncing around everywhere. It was 66.5 in the offseason, and it went down to 63 and starting to be bet back up. And I think, Ron, this is a classic example of this game. Big-time programs, isolated game, Sunday night. There's going to be some movement on this one, and people are going to be betting the over. So if you like the over, I would suggest to everyone, get in now, because I think it'll close at 66, 67. Like, people are going to hammer it, isolated game. The numbers come down to 4.5. I don't know if there's going to be a buyback with LSU or not, Ron. What do you think about this contest? They're mirror images of each other, these football teams.
Yeah, first of all, I'm glad to see you guys are having fun. You guys like what you do. This is fun, all the comments and stuff. And you're going to have a fun time at that kind of game, too. I agree with you. This game's probably going to be bet up. You have two new defensive coordinators trying to stop the bleeding, but it's hard to stop the bleeding week one with new program, new people, and so on. And these offenses are just built to score. We saw that in the bowl game last year for USC. They don't have Caleb Williams, no problem. I'll just throw 6 TDs with Moss. And LSU, of course, was a scoring machine with the Heisman Trophy winner. So it's going to be a fun one. I don't see it going back up to 6. It would surprise me. They would have to take some sort of key move or injury to go up that way. Games like this, I really like to see what's the special team going to look like. Who returns kicks? What's the kick return coverage? What's the punt return coverage? Won't see that many punts. What's the kickoff specialist? Can they kick field goals? Little things are going to matter in a game like this.
I agree in a sense, too, Cam. Listen, both their defense, one thing about USC's defense over the last couple of years, they've been pushed around a little bit. They put a ton of money into their defense in the offseason, right? They bring in the defensive coordinator from UCLA. They poach the head coach at North Dakota State. Like, they're spending, like, tens of millions of dollars on, like, defensive experts to come in. But they've done a nice job of the transfer portal. And let's not kid ourselves. It's not like they have a bunch of, 2-star recruits. They have good. No. Their secondary is good, right? They're like the kids can play. Their cornerbacks are speedy. They need to get to the quarterback, USC. But one thing wrong with USC, they've been pretty opportunistic, right, with the turnovers, right? Like the interceptions, punching balls loose and stuff. They're kind of counting on their secondary. I've been following their program a lot leading into this game. Sort of, they're like, you know what? Our secondary is going to make some plays and surprise some people. And I look at this game almost like an Arena League game, Ron, where, like you said, a stop here, a punt return there, maybe a turnover, an interception, you know what I mean? A big interception that a team is going to make. Because I think they'll be trading points. Which team can come up with a stop or two? Yeah, LSU have better talent, but the game's in the West Coast. They've lost 4 straight season openers. And Zachariah Branch is a badass, guys, the wide receiver on USC. All right, this kid is like a little Reggie Bush light type player. Moss has been lighting it up here, Rod. I'm going to be at the game. I'm going to be betting the team totals, both teams' team totals over. I will be on the USC Trojans plus the points, and I'm going to take the over in the game.
Well, you hit the nail on the head with the turnovers. 2 years ago, USC was something like plus 20 or plus 21 in turnovers at one point. Turnover regression last year, and their record regressed as well. Each turnover worth 3.75 points in the college game. So they rely on those turnovers. They can't turn it over themselves if they want to hang with the LSU.
Can't wait for this game. All right, one more segment with Ron. We'll get him out of here. We'll take a sneak peek look at the NFL and more college games.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton's actually the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, let's say it comes down for Matt Kuchar in the FedEx Cup ball. Let's say he doesn't make a cut, and it comes down to one shot. And
That's a good point.
And he keeps his card for the top 125 because he did make the jump from, I think it was 113 to 103. So he made a 10-spot jump. So he's got, 17, or let's see, that was not good math. He's got about
Not a bad one. The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We're into a different regime, different ownership, different head coach. I like the head coach. Dan Quinn is a good football man. He has been around where he's been. They have won. Yes, he's had some talent there.
I'm incredibly excited for what this brings to the team. The defense, I think, is underrated. I think this is a good football team. And also, you talk about extending drives. I think Daniels has that ability. And that's something that hasn't been seen in Washington for quite some time.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
Wild night football's back. Night of bad beats, close losses, although we don't really like the term bad beats. Bad bet, right? If you lost, it's a bad bet. But, dear God, like 51, 50 and a halves, and just cold world, man. You can't believe North Dakota State throws a Hail Mary just a couple of yards short, but they catch it. So 14-13 right now for the Golden Gophers over the Tar Heels. This game started an hour late due to inclement weather. 14-13, Minnesota are currently -1.5, -140 on the money line. The total is 37.5. Illinois are now winning 38-0 on Eastern Illinois, 31-3 UAB over Alcorn State. San Jose State are chipping away and coming back. It was 17-7. Now it's 17-14. We got a football game going on here. I don't know if you had an opinion on that one, Ron, but I asked Ron earlier if there were any sort of random games flying under the radar that we didn't bring up that he likes it. You talked about Sam Houston State was one team that you talked about on Saturday, Ron. Let's get to that game.
Yeah, they're a sneaky program. They started 0-8 last year. They couldn't get anything going offensively. It was terrible, but they were in the games, and their defense was really overachieving to even keep them in some of these games. Then when they played Liberty at the end of the year, they had 1st and goal at the 3 and almost upset the undefeated Liberty team. So they played some ball last year. I think they could sneak up on some people. Rice returns a whole lot of people defensively. So it could be another long day for Sam Houston State if they haven't fixed their offense much. But I took a flyer on them because double digits, too much for a program that started to find its way at the end of last year, first year at this level.
Well, I'll tell you what, it felt strange before. It was like, all right, we're getting ahead of ourselves talking about the NFL games, but we're not going to have you on. We always appreciate having you on, but we're probably not going to speak again next week, Rod. We got, Thursday night football in the NFL. The season's set to begin. Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs, 2.5-point favorites over the Baltimore Ravens. Total 46.5 in that football game. And football fans are spoiled this year. The college, every Saturday is going to be these matches. It's going to be like January 1st bowl day every Saturday now. Like all the networks, like with the games, you're going to be like powerhouse game at noon or 9 in the morning, powerhouse game at 3:30, powerhouse teams at nighttime, right? And it's going to be super fun to watch. And then you get the NFL, and they keep on adding days, and we get the Thursday night game, and then boom, a Friday night game in Brazil with the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Pretty much, and in fact, almost identical numbers. They're both 2.5. The total in the Packer-Eagle game, though, guys, is 48.5. What are your thoughts on the two season openers, Ron, in the National Football League?
Well, a few months ago, I was all in on Baltimore in this game. Standalone revenge, immediate playoff revenge. Baltimore, if you remember, handed the ball off one time to its running back in the entire first half against Kansas City in that championship game in the AFC. Very unlike the way they played. And it was just the worst game plan of the year, and they couldn't come back from that. And I think they've had this circled. And if people remember, they were the highest rated regular season team last year. Now, what we've seen in the last couple of weeks during the preseason is that Baltimore hasn't played up to expectations. First time in a long time in preseason. Maybe they're missing their offensive linemen. Maybe they're holding back. And Kansas City's looked a little bit better than expected. I still like Baltimore, but I don't like them as much as I did previously. And with the Eagles, I know we talked offline, that Jason Kelsey not being there is a big deal. But I just trust the Jalen Hurts and the run game a little bit more against a usually substandard Packer run defense against the mobile quarterbacks. The big issue is, has Philadelphia fixed its secondary? They paid attention in free agency. The first two draft picks were quality players for the secondary. How fast does that come together? Because we know Jordan Love can throw a very pretty deep ball.
And also, I think which team, it's unique. Opening up the season in Brazil, which team is going to handle the trip better? Who's not going to have any drama, on the trip? It's just sort of another little variable there. Should be some points, though, guys, in this one, I would expect. We know, listen, I'm a big Jordan Love guy, and you just talked about the secondary. I think the Packers are going to be able to throw the football on Philadelphia. And I think Philadelphia's offense will score as well. We got a 48.5. Obviously, we're going to have to check out the weather in Rio de Janeiro, guys. I don't usually have to do that, but
Rio. That's the best. How's the weather?
I'm used to checking out the weather in Laramie, Cam. Laramie, Laramie. All right, like Rio.
Hear what they said?
Make sure it's an NFL quality field, because you don't know about these playing fields. A couple of the London fields were deemed not.
Great call, Ron.
Well, I think the Germany field and stuff. You have to check out the field conditions, stuff that we normally wouldn't.
Almost just expecting it to be slippery. Like,
yeah.
Like I just sort of like chaos and like sort of. Well, listen, they're playing in a big Brazilian soccer stadium. So it's a state of the NFL is not going to go to not a state of the art stadium, but it's crazy. The stadium, you're not allowed wearing green. Like, they hate the color green, and these it's like of all stadiums they put them in.
Wow.
They gave the players like a big booklet of things not to do when you're there. Like, basically, they're telling them, listen, if you leave the hotel, like, be careful. Like, I don't want to joke about that, but that's a big handicap of this game. Which team's like bus gets hijacked on the way to the stadium?
It's actually, you're right, Morency. They put a line on that. Well, I already said they go. If you walk down the street with a cell phone, consider it gone, and like you're taking your life.
I tell you
They've
what,
already warned these guys.
Some of these Brazilian gangsters find out how much jewelry the Eagle players wear. They're going to be very interested in that bus. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be like, there's a lot of jewelry on there. Wow. Someone tell them, there's 30 Rolexes on that bus. But all kidding aside, fun football game. Anything catch your eye week one, Ron, NFL? We got about 2.5 minutes left here.
Yeah, another revenge game is the Rams and the Lions. You got Stafford going back there one more time. That was a toss-up game that the Lions pulled out last year. Lions are better this year. I don't know if the Rams are going to be better. But in game one, I expect Matthew Stafford's best effort. I don't know if they're going to win, but the 3.5 looks a little bit attractive. I think some people, and this is can be a minority opinion, but Lawrence of Jacksonville, quarterback Lawrence of Jacksonville, he played hurt last year. He should have sat out a couple of games. I think when healthy, he's a little bit underrated. That's 3.5 points also. Whenever you can get the hook in some of these games, I think it's worth taking a look at. So I'm taking a look at Jacksonville and the Rams.
For the record, I actually like this Jacksonville team this year. I think they're going to compete with Houston for the division title. You can get like plus 270. Their win total 7.5. It's like minus 140 or something. But it's too light. Like you said, I believe in Lawrence. He looked really good in camp. He looked good in the preseason. And I tell you what, guys, I'm a massive Brian Thomas Jr. fan. All right, I'm going to bet his season props. I think he's going to take over. He's going to be the number one wide receiver of this team. He's better. I'm telling you, he's better than Gabriel Davis and Christian Kirk is already. Like, he will end up being the man on that team. Dude, he's like 6'3", 220, runs a 4.3. He's just going to be another one of these LSU stars. I mean, everyone's talking about Malik Neighbors, but this kid is a freaking stud on the Jags. We know they're going to have a good defense. The division is manageable. I think they're better than Tennessee. I think they're better than Indy. And I think they're a live dog in that football game as well. Ron, where can people find you online and watch your stuff?
Well, you can find me on Twitter X at Ron A Sports. I have some stuff that 90 season previews for college on Wager Talk. Las Vegas, Chris and I were on every Tuesday, noon West Coast time. And then we're back on with my good friend Ted Sobel, formerly of Sports USA Live. And we're on today, Thursday. And so I'm on various shows and share some thoughts on Twitter. That's where you can find me. Appreciate being on your show.
And we always appreciate your time, Ron. Great stuff. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Take it easy,
Ron Ace in the house with us. All right. Great stuff with Ron. Great to have football back. 31-3 UAB still, 14-13 Gophers. We'll focus in on this game. We're at the half in the Bay Area. San Jose State, 17-14 game right now. Sacramento are up.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last two Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton could actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, let's say it comes down for Matt Kuchar in the FedEx Cup ball. Let's say he doesn't make a cut, and it comes down to one shot. And
that's a good point.
And he keeps his card for the top 125 because he did make the jump from, I think it was 113 to 103. So he made a 10-spot jump. So he's got, 17, or let's see, that was not good math. He's got about 20.
Not a bad one. The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We're into a different regime, different ownership, different head coach. I like the head coach. Dan Quinn is a good football man. He has been around where he's been. They have won. Yes, he's had some talent there.
I'm incredibly excited for what this brings to the team. The defense, I think, is underrated. I think this is a good football team. And also, you talk about extending drives. I think Daniels has that ability. And that's something that hasn't been seen in Washington for quite some time.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
Well, North Carolina State was losing earlier. They were 32-point favorites. We thought maybe we'd have a Western Carolina massive upset. The upset comes from the tennis world tonight. Carlos Alcaraz has not only lost, he lost 3 straight sets. He got swept. Dear God. Vandenschulp rules or whatever the guy, Vanderpump rules. Vanderpump, Vanderschulp. Yeah, Vander, whatever, That's what I think. I look up at it. Vanderpump rules.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that lady is and what she does. I know she got a show, and I guess she drinks wine on TV, gets drunk, and is mean to people.
Yeah.
Because I know they put her on a show with Gordon Ramsay. Like, Gordon Ramsay met his match in bitchiness. Like, he's bitching, and she's like, shut the F up. Like, she's like,
why don't
like,
you Vanderpump off, he says. It's like, she's like, shut up, Gordon. Yeah, Vanderpump off. That's her line on the commercial. You know what she does, Gabe? She runs like a trendy, like, ooh, we're hipster bar in California. We're all hot chicks, drunks, big drama. Hey, I saw you having sex with the chick in the
it's like
bathroom.
it's like the Real Housewives stuff. It's the same scene.
It's trash. My girlfriend watches it. It's awful. I hate it. It's garbage. Yeah.
Man, you should see the people that are lining up for pictures and autographs for this tennis player right now. Dear God, this guy's rocking. I mean, tennis man. It's like it's like no other. You get the tennis crowd. All right, so Cal State, Sacramento, and San Jose State are at the half. It's 17-14. Listen, spirited football game. Nice start for Cal State, Sacramento, but we've seen this a million times already this year. These FCS teams come out strong. They can't sustain it. And I know that San Jose State aren't a powerhouse, but still, San Jose State have better players. Like, they have more talent. And it's going to show. It was sort of like Colorado and North Dakota State tonight. North Dakota State played their hearts out. They covered, right? But they fell short. And if you're Cal State, Sacramento, you were up 7-0. You were up 17-7. San Jose State have the momentum right now. It's 17-14. They've been moving the football. They scored right before the end of the half. They have a great coach at halftime. You know they're going to adjust, and they're going to start pounding the ball, and they're going to start physically pushing Cal State Sacramento around a bit. Listen, we're at 31 right now. I don't think it slows down really, though. I think that San Jose State will be the ones to start to score a bit here. So I was already on San Jose State. I jumped in. We're getting a decent. It's sort of where it started at 60 and a half. It's 61 and a half. So give me over 61 and a half. And I think San Jose State, guys, at plus 120 on the money line. I think they're going to win the game. You can take them at plus 2.5 if you want, or a plus 120 money line. But I do think that Spartans of San Jose State will come back and win the football game. 14-13 Minnesota. This game's pretty much going away. I thought it would, Cam. I thought it'd be an ugly sort of 1-point game. Yep. I wanted to bet the under. I didn't get in on the in-game under earlier when it was 45.5, and it kind of dipped too low for my liking. But we are on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in this football game, in a very close game right now. They need to, is North Carolina?
We got out of the end zone. We were literally, Gabe, on the 2-yard line. Great punt by North Carolina. Minnesota's receiver just broke a tackle. We're at the 12 right now. That was a big first down. Update in baseball. Orioles hit a 3-run bomb, Gabe. I'm not sure if you're on the over of this game. It was 8.5. It's 5-3 Dodgers heading to the bottom of the 5th. So Baltimore just put up a 3 spot.
No, you know what? I should have jumped in on the Dodgers tonight, but I got caught up in the I got caught up with the college football. All right, so tomorrow night's games, what are you taking? You got Florida Atlantic, Michigan State. It's 13-45. What's your pick for that game?
I'm leaning Florida Atlantic right now. I haven't pulled the trigger in that game, but I think Jonathan Smith's going to do a great job with Michigan State. I think it just might take a few weeks.
I think Florida Atlantic will be in the game, Cam, but Michigan State will end up pulling away and cover the number. I think Florida Atlantic are still – they were a 4-win football team last year. And I'm not sure how much better they actually are this year. Like, all right, maybe they're a 6-win team. Another thing is, too, FAU, historically, and I know being, following this program, they often get lit up in these games. Like, you figure, they'll be able to hang, and they kind of tap out all the time. No one really knows what to expect from Michigan State, but Aiden Childs is a star quarterback, all right? Florida Atlantic doesn't have any star players on their team. They're going to have a hard time keeping up. So are they going to cover? Maybe. I'm not saying Michigan State's the lock of the century, but I'm going to go with Michigan State minus the 13. And anyone watching the show, or if you're on the radio, I'm wearing a Michigan Wolverine shirt. So I'm not always in love with taking the Spartans, but I think they're going to cover the number. They'll win, Cam, like 35-14 or something like that.
To back up your argument,
35-20.
I find it troubling. And I look at stuff like this, and I think it's important. That line was 14 and a half, and people I'm not going to call it sharp money, but money has come in on Florida Atlantic, and now it's 12.5. So that's interesting. Now Michigan State, it's not on at that key number, Gabe. You could be on to something. People are betting Florida Atlantic, and those popular dogs usually go to die. They could win by 13.
It won't be a fun time for these kids from Florida, Boca Raton, going into East Lansing on a Friday night.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm a Wolverine fan, but trust me, I'm aware. The Spartan fans, they get more wasted than the Michigan fans do. Like, that's going to be a madhouse. Like, tomorrow night, new coach. They finally know, hey, we don't suck anymore. We're going to get good with this quarterback and this coach. Oklahoma are laying 42 to Temple. The total is 57.5. All these, like, big number games have really come down right to the point spread. So if you're betting this, if you like Oklahoma, you should probably pull the trigger now, because they'll probably hook you on this and make it 43.5 to scare people away, because everyone's going to take the Sooners. But I do believe that the Sooners are going to murder Temple. Oklahoma have a ton of talent. They have a tough schedule. They're going to have to, they need to win some big games, win big. They got to please their fans a bit, and they got to get off to a hot start here. I think they're going to absolutely drill Temple. Western Michigan and Wisconsin, I don't really have a big interest in this football game, to be honest. I kind of think Wisconsin will win right around the point spread. I think Wisconsin are mid. They're an average team. And Western Michigan, whatever. They're just a MAC team, and they're not very good either. So it's a weird game, but the MAC generally does not cover these games against the Big Ten. And I do like Stanford plus the 9 against TCU tomorrow night.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton. They will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic, most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton's actually the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, let's say it comes down for Matt Kuchar in the FedEx Cup ball. Let's say he doesn't make a cut, and it comes down to one shot. And
that's a good point.
And he keeps his card for the top 125, because he did make the jump from, I think it was 113 to 103. So he made a 10-spot jump. So he's got, 17, or let's see, that was not good math. He's got about
not 20. The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We're into a different regime, different ownership, different head coach. I like the head coach. Dan Quinn is a good football man. He has been around where he's been. They have won. Yes, he's had some talent there.
I'm incredibly excited for what this brings to the team. The defense, I think, is underrated. I think this is a good football team. And also, you talk about extending drives. I think Daniels has that ability. And that's something that hasn't been seen in Washington for quite some time.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Level 2 continues. Brent Beard will join us. You like college football? We have a lot more college football talk coming up in Level 3 with Brent Beard. So TCU and Stanford tomorrow. TCU are up to 9. Listen, Stanford aren't very good. We know this. They won 3 games last year. As Ron Hayes brought up, the coach from Sacramento State did a great job there, building the program up. So we got the job in the Bay Area. To be honest, it was kind of a let's be real. I mean, they had Harbaugh, they had David Shaw, they had like these big time coaches there. But it's I tell you, in the old days, Willingham, but it's a tough program to coach at. Like Stanford, they don't have NIL money. It's a super, super hard school to get into, and they don't look the other way for the football team there. So you actually have to get kids that are actually good in school, and it's a challenge, right? Think about it. You got to put together a football team. Like, you think Deion Sanders cares how these kids do in school, right? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, Stanford, none of them are going to be there. Like, they're going to be there a year or whatever, so they don't even care. But Stanford's tough. You got to go to class, and they're hard classes, so it's tough to do. They have a little bit of leeway and stuff, but he's a good coach. Second year of the program right now. I read the Bay Area media stuff a lot, and Stanford do feel pretty good coming into the year that they can surprise some people. A lot of sharp people, too, if you pay attention to college football previews. Think Stanford, not a sleeper, but a type of team that'll be an annoying team to play against. And TCU are erratic, right? They are good. They're okay. They're going to have a bunch of fast dudes, but let's be real. Sonny Dykes kind of had that one good year. They put it together the year they went and they beat Michigan, and it was kind of one of those magical years. TCU won 1 million games like in the last minute that year, and they haven't done anything before that. They didn't do anything after that. So it's, TCU's win total is 7.5 this year, to put in context. So this isn't like, oh, this is a loaded TCU team. They're kind of a middle-of-the-road TCU team. Stanford getting 9 points on their home field. As we mentioned, Clemson is down to 11.5 right now. There's been a late push on the Clemson Tigers in that football game. Maryland laid 20.5 to UConn. So what are your best bets on Saturday, Cam?
I'm going to be taking West Virginia and the under. I lean with you on Clemson right now. I haven't pulled the trigger. I do agree with Bovey and you with the over in the Miami-Florida game. I think there's going to be points there with a lot of talent on the field. That's what I've done so far, Gabe, and there'll be way more to come, but that's what I've locked in so far.
I'd be careful. West Virginia is one of these trendy picks against Penn State early game. And the fact of the matter is, Penn State murdered them last year. All right, like Penn State generally murder them all the time. Like West Virginia are okay. People want to, they talk like Ron said. He goes, it's almost wishful thinking. So it was 38-15 last year. So that's talking about a 23-point beatdown. Right?
Yeah.
So did they close the gap that much, West Virginia? And Penn State are good. Like, to me, it's a trap, Cam, in my own personal opinion. I could see, and I don't love Penn State either, but Penn State's defense is so freaking good. Their offense has a ton of talent. They just couldn't get any big play they didn't make a lot of big plays last year, but I could see it being sort of close, but Penn State pulling away. But it's going to be a wild atmosphere in West Virginia. Pat McAfee's doing a show there tomorrow. College Game Day is there. So it's like the game of the century for West Virginia on Saturday, which these games usually backfire.
Yeah. Gabe, I want to say one thing about Stanford, too. Like, I know gritty's the word that I'm looking for. And just looking at their Pac-12 schedule, they lost to Arizona, 11th seed, by 1 point. Remember, they beat Colorado in that game in overtime where they came back. It was absolutely madness. They only lost to Washington by 9, and they lost to Washington State by 3. So, you know what I mean? There were some really games that they played the Stanford Cardinal team against very good teams in the conference. They almost played up to the competition of the talented team. One thing I know about Stanford, and you said it, smart, gritty, don't kill themselves in the game. I think TCU's in for a little bit of a battle right there, and I know TCU will be the popular side.
The Ranger Redhead, Cam Stewart. So college football is back. Next week we'll get into the National Football League, and it'll be week 1. Can't believe that. Football is back right now. We got Brent Beard in level 3 stepping up and in and joining us. We'll talk more college football with Brent. We'll get into a lot of these SEC games. North Carolina, 16-14.
Have fun.